at the end of the day, it's one of those things where you just can't please everybody. Why, hello, everybody. This is Eric Vierthaler of Vierthaler Studios. Back again for the next episode of Sit Down by the Fire. I'm here with my co-host, Ty from Junebug Films. We're here with our next special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Meaghen Reiman. I'm from Laurel, Montana. And I enjoy singing.
We certainly appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, certainly, of course. And so how about that? So how about that you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, I have 2 children and my husband, and they're the best. They're my biggest fans, and I love them. And I don't really know very much else about myself to say anything, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, as they always say, life is definitely one big journey. So, so out of curiosity, how did you and your husband meet?
We used to work together.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
And
so work sweethearts.
Yes.
And was this at your current job or at your job?
No, we met working in a restaurant, cooking.
Nice.
Is he a good cook?
He's a very good cook.
Well, I mean, I can imagine so. Well, I mean, after having all that experience being a cook at a restaurant, I would sure hope so.
Right.
So,
well,
yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, at least, somebody has to do the good cooking in the family then, right? Because he's probably a better cook than me. Right, Eric?
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't ever seen you cook, and I haven't ever had the food that you cook. So, and then therefore, it would be hard for me.
I make some mean ramen.
I mean, ramen like has to be like the easiest thing ever in the entire world to make. So
I don't know. Tell my buddy one time he actually managed to burn ramen noodles.
He must have had it on for too long or something.
I don't know what he did, but burnt ramen noodles. That's one of the worst smells.
I can imagine.
It's one of those like burnt smells that lingers, like burnt rice. If you have burnt rice in your kitchen, it just kind of lingers for a little while.
Yikes!
Very true.
That's why pressure cookers are so much better for rice versus cooking rice on the stove. Is what I have found out.
Oh, I can imagine. I can definitely take your word for it. And so were you interested first, or was your husband interested first, or what?
I think it was kind of mutual. It was one of those it sounds pretty cliche, but like when you know type thing.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yep. And then as a lot of people say, the rest is history.
Exactly.
So, and did he ask you out first or vice versa?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and you totally said no.
So anyway, you said that this guy is inspiring. What is your what is your what finds him inspiring? Like, do you want? I guess you want to be somewhere in entertainment, or what is it? Do you just want to talk to this guy?
Well, I really, really like to sing. So I'm just trying to put myself out there more, conquer my fears, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and I mean, The last thing that anybody would want to happen is to be on their deathbed and then say, "Man, I wish I would have done this or that." And hey, I mean, you only have one shot, and so you might as well should make every second count.
Right.
So, what type of music would you like to sing?
I don't really know. I guess I like to sing everything. I'm really inspired by artists like SZA is one of my favorite artists of all time right now. Um, I'm not really a big Swiftie, but Taylor Swift has some good music out there.
Well, I mean, I just find it funny how she always seems to swift away her exes. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
made an entire career writing about breakups. So
Right.
yeah, and I actually saw a meme once on Facebook that said Taylor Swift seems like the kind of chick like who would poke a hole in a condom. I thought that
being
that was funny.
being from Kansas City and who she's currently dating, from what I've heard, just through the grapevine and all rumors, so allegedly, maybe.
So who is she
Anyway,
dating now?
Travis Kelsey.
All
So
right, well, you know,
it's a football player who was okay, not like below mediocre at best, but after you start dating Taylor Swift, then you're all of a sudden popular, you know. So, but yeah,
yeah. So,
but
oh, I am sorry.
but anyway, maybe hopefully, you can once you conquer your fears and everything, you can get on one of those shows, America's Got Talent or something, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So,
Um,
would you say that there was one singer like who single-handedly inspired you, or what?
So this might age me a little bit, but when I was little, I used to listen to it was when Kelly Clarkson had just won American Idol.
Hmm.
And so she really definitely inspired me. I sung one of her songs at a talent show once.
Nice.
well, I don't know. I like Kelly Clarkson. You know, she's always been one of the more down to earth type people, and that's when I like her. I mean, really, her and Carrie Underwood are really the only artists that have won American Idol that really have made it. You know, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that show has launched so many careers, but then it's like, what? Nobody talks about that one guy, the country guy, Scotty McQuarrie, I think wasn't it, or something like that.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
Like
something like that.
he was like this really short guy, you know, and nobody talks about him much anymore. But then but no, I mean, I think you if you want to go for it, try to be on one of those shows, because might be inspiring to the kiddos, right? To say, mommy's on America's Got Talent. They can watch you and all that stuff, and hopefully they vote for you.
Right.
I actually would be surprised if they don't. And
Well,
I can imagine that if they don't, they probably will have their Xbox taken away.
yeah, just maybe say that, kids, if you don't vote for me, you're grounded, right?
I'll have to definitely clarify that to them.
Yeah. And then if his puppy doesn't vote for you, you're sleeping on the couch tonight.
Exactly.
But
That would be pretty funny. And so yeah, and so you mentioned that there was a song of Kelly's that you sang at a talent show. Would you happen to remember what that song was?
It was Breakaway, I believe. Is the name.
Nice.
so a lot of times, on those shows, because who knows, maybe this could give you some exposure to get onto one of those shows. Because I mean, do they have auditions? And well, I'm assuming they have auditions in Montana somewhere for them, or you can
There
virtually.
has
So
been in the past they've come to Montana to let people audition for the shows.
Yeah,
well,
matter of fact, I believe I heard one time There was a girl from Skyview like who auditioned for it, and she actually got pretty far. I don't remember who it was, but that was like a little bit over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I think, next time they come, you should just try it, because I think America's Got Talent. I mean, they've had guys who, I don't think they have an age limit, because there's guys in their 70s that were on the show,
Yeah.
And like one guy, they had this one guy, I can't remember. I don't even know if the guy's still living, because he was in his 70s and it was like 5 years ago. He could sing Sinatra really good. So
Not bad. And I mean, there's that saying that, as long as you are alive, you still have that chance.
mm-hmm.
That is very true. And I really just want to show my kids that even if you don't make it, it's at least best to try.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And on top of that, you only fail only when you stop trying.
So what, I guess, let's say hypothetically, you get your chance, you're auditioning. What's your audition song?
Oh man, that is such a good question. There's so many good songs out there. I don't know. I would probably pick something like Adele or something like that. Something that really would showcase my voice.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I don't know. Maybe something like "Don't Stop Believing."
Yeah, something inspirational.
Yeah, or one that one song that I always like, that I think honestly should be more out there on for those shows. "The Show Must Go On" by Queen,
Uh-huh.
because that is like one of their best songs, and the fact that it was literally the last song on Innuendo. It was literally the last song that Freddie did when he was still alive, when doing Queen. "The Show Must Go On," and
Mm-hmm.
that's what makes that song inspiring to me, because it's like, wow. And Queen kind of has really let the show go on. Maybe pick some singers that I don't know if they have the showman aspect, and the vocal range, but it's like, I think I think they should have gone with this one guy, Mark Martel, because this guy, he dubbed Freddie Mercury, he dubbed Remy Malek for the movie. Queen knows who he is, and this guy can actually stay on key with Freddie Mercury.
Wow,
And
that's impressive.
and
That
he
is.
sounds like Freddie Mercury. And if you saw this guy, I'm not going to say anything, but if you saw this guy, it's like, hey, um, did your mom hook up with Freddie Mercury at some point, because you look like a lot like Freddie Mercury. I mean, it's like kind of like you have to sit there and wonder. I think you need to do a DNA test.
Yeah, it's like the resemblance is just so uncanny.
Yes, and a lot of people have said that after now he sounds like Freddie Mercury. He was in a Christian rock band called Down Here, and it's Mark Martel. And this guy, like I said, I mean, to stay on key with Freddie Mercury, that's the impressive part, especially because I mean, Freddie Mercury, obviously, arguably one of the greatest rock singer of all time. So, but
Very true.
I mean, but maybe no. I mean, yeah, Kelly Clarkson. You mentioned Adele. And Adele. I mean, I think she her record in 2012. I think I actually heard that she almost, people don't realize this, she actually almost beat Thriller, I believe.
Oh,
Wow.
I
Like
had no idea.
I now it's probably like 20. It's probably like, I'm not going to say a number, but she is in the top selling records of all time, which is impressive, since yes, records are coming back, but not in that quantity. And people can back checking me, but I'm saying she broke a record in 2012 when records, kind of were coming back, but not really, and everything. So, and I'm not complaining because Adele is, I like Adele. I mean, she wrote the last good Bond song, so there you go.
Yeah, which I find really ironic that all that was mentioned. Since that when Meaghen sent me a few videos of her singing, but yeah, I guess it's fate or coincidence, depending on what you believe. I said, your singing voice actually kind of sounds like Adele. And then afterwards, she said, "Oh my God, thank you so much. It's because she's somebody who I adore." And I'm like, well, I guess that's fate.
Well, you know what? Assuming we don't get a copyright strike, you want to, why don't put her on the spot here? Let's have her saying something.
Oh my gosh.
She probably was not expecting that.
I wasn't. I will do my best.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's all good.
No, it's okay. You got to warm up. Warm up the vocal cords.
Never mind, I'll find someone like you. And yeah, that's all I got.
Well, wow. That's really, really good. I mean, so let's see. Eric, you got any questions?
Yeah. So, out of all genres of music, would you say that you have a favorite genre?
This might shock you, but I'm a really big fan of rap music, and especially old school rap. And some of the newer stuff today, like Kendrick Lamar, is huge in my house. We love Kendrick. So that's a genre that I really like. I do like pop music. Not a huge fan of pop country, but there are some good songs out there.
Really? Well, at least pop country is better than something that's very underground right now. Rap country.
Yes.
Rap country?
Yes, it is.
That's a thing?
Yes, and sometimes they have gangster rap country, which is like
two complete opposites.
Like, some of it's just like there are some that can pull it off, but like when Waylon Jennings, I think it's his grandson, is doing rap country and has himself called Struggle Jennings, and it's just like this is. I'm not gonna say that it's really just not my cup of tea at all, and I like my country music, and I'll but it's just weird listening to like. I'm not going to rap because I can't rap at all. But it's weird, like sitting there. People talk about fishing and then they're rapping. It's like
yeah. I mean, usually fishing is not what comes to mind whenever people think of like, gangsters and rap and all that.
Maybe I guess maybe outlaws that kind of fits with country, but not. But maybe we don't live in the 1870s anymore, so.
Huh. Wow. I guess you really do learn something new every day.
Yes, but no, I mean, and I like a lot of the. I'll admit it. Some of the '90s rap is good. I mean, I like Tupac, some of his songs, and Will. And I mean, before he started to slap people, Will Smith was pretty cool. I mean, and and even I really like Ice Cube a lot. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. And about that, what I find really ironic is that Ice Cube had that song "F the Police," but yet later on in the movie 21 Jump Street, he actually would play a cop.
Yes, that is true.
Man, it's just it's just that is just such an ironic twist of events.
Yeah, I've never even thought about that before.
Well, he's played cops before, you know.
In what?
I mean, Ride Along.
Okay.
You know, I mean, he's played cops. You know, so hey, I mean, plus that message of the song is really just policemen that have too much, think they're all that because they're cops. So
Right.
that,
I mean,
that
I don't want to get too political now, but I just found that really ironic. And to be fair, I haven't ever seen Ride Alongs, so that's probably why I was not aware of that.
yeah. Well, so let's see. I mean, I guess could you know. So even though you like rap, can you rap or no?
I have tried it before. So this was like 10 years ago. I am friends with these kids that like to rap locally here, and I used to sing music for them, and then they would rap. And one time in the studio, we were just messing around and playing and thought, wouldn't it be funny if I tried to do a rap? And they said it wasn't bad, but it's definitely not my thing.
Mhm. Well, I mean, hey, it I'll admit, I've tried before. It's hard to do.
It is definitely not easy.
Yeah,
Like,
like it's really not. Like I met somebody in junior high who said, "Oh man, anybody like can, anybody could just grab a mic and then rap." It's like, no, no, it's really not that simple.
well, even Eric, I think you've tried before, right?
I have, yeah, and and I've gotten mixed responses. I've had people say they thought I was really good. I've had people say that they thought I sucked. But hey, I mean, at the end of the day, it's one of those things where you just can't please everybody.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the reasons why, like, I play guitar. I am. I've always jokingly called said I'm no Eddie Van Halen, but I'm mainly just a glorified strummer. So, uh, and you know now, but it's just something you gotta really practice at. Even using your voice and all
Mhm.
instruments, to make them better. And plus, like, you know, who knows? Maybe you can join this guy when I do some karaoke or something, right?
Right. I love
Yes.
karaoke.
Oh yeah. I also do. But yeah, I'm not sure if you ever watched any of my karaoke videos.
I have not.
But yeah, I mean, probably the funniest one was my last one. So uh so for New Year's, I decided I was gonna go do karaoke at the Red Door, and I was trying to come up with the song because originally I was gonna do Because I Got High, but unfortunately the owner was there, and the owner hates that song, and they said sorry, but you're gonna have to sing something else. And I was like, shoot, I'm gonna have to come up with a new song right on the spot. Thought, hey, how about I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt? And then I picked that
Yeah.
song, and yeah, and I mean, just the reactions that I got, I mean, people thought it was funny.
That's great.
Eric, I thought of the best song for
What is
karaoke:
it? What is it?
the ABCs.
People definitely won't be expecting that.
Exactly. So, Eric, action.
Action for me to sing the ABC song.
Yeah, why not?
All right, hold
Do
on.
you have to get the lyrics?
Isn't it 1, 2, 3? Okay. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y and Z. Now I know my ABC. Sorry, my
He's
voice.
already failed. He already failed.
Oh yeah. Hey, I mean, I got through most of it.
That was
So,
good.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. But no, so no, I mean, I say if you want to be a singer, go, go to karaoke night at the bars, and sometimes, sometimes even local bars, sometimes they're always looking for a singer, and plus, I'm sure from what Eric showed me, the music scene's big in Montana. Get yourself a band, and
Right.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
I mean, since me and Ty are going to be moving to Atlanta, Atlanta definitely has a really big music scene, especially with rap and hip hop. And so yeah, and so as soon as we go to Atlanta, but yeah, we definitely can tell people about you. So yeah.
Cool.
well, as long as I guess as long as because as long as the family's willing to move too, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, maybe not move, but but maybe at least travel down for work.
Right. But I mean, I wish I wish more of the rock scene was good in Atlanta, but a guy can dream because rock is kind of dead in America.
I mean, I have a feeling since that the music scene's pretty big in Atlanta. I mean, as far as my understanding goes, rap is a lot more prevalent, but I'm pretty sure that there's a rock scene. So yeah.
I'm pretty sure there is, and I think that I really think that rock actually could come back in America, but you 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 have to really look at what they do in Sweden and Norway, where rock is huge. Like they have massive
Mhm.
festivals there. I think if you really get into the festival crowd with rock and really promote some of these young artists, and plus the problem with a lot of rock singers now is that the band is good, and I think Meaghen can kind of testify. There's a lot of modern rock singers. The band is good, but then the lead singer is just doesn't fit the band, or is just not exactly like the best singer. Like Mammoth WVH. I love Wolf Van Halen because he's the son of Eddie Van Halen. Great musician. I'm sorry, dude. You suck as a singer. I'm gonna be honest. You like singing the song in tribute of your dad. That was fine, but you just hire a lead singer for your band. I know you're Wolf Van Halen, but you know, and then the biggest criticism you get for like modern rock bands like Greta Van Fleet is they sound like Led Zeppelin. I'm like, explain to me how that's a bad thing.
Right. I
Yeah.
love Led Zeppelin, so
Yeah, well, like, how is that a bad thing to sound like Led Zeppelin?
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Like, and but yeah, as far as like seeing some like cringe worthy stuff like in the music scene, I remember a really long time ago I was watching this reality show like it was about rappers. I don't recall what its name was, but there was this guy who's trying to make it as a rapper, and just the lyrics that he came up with when he performed it live, everybody looked at him as if he was out of his mind. I don't remember his name, but his lyrics went, "What you staring at? I ain't no mirror," and people were like, "Those are the worst lyrics I've ever heard." Like, and I'll never forget like just how baffled that even I was hearing that. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like no wonder why that you got booed.
Yeah, well, that's. You scared me there for a second. I thought when you said cringeworthy stuff in the music scene, I thought you were going to talk about somebody that might be current now,
No, no,
but
no.
in a bad way. You had me scared there, buddy.
Sorry. False
Well,
alarm.
that's the thing about rap music is as much as there is some really, really good rap music out there, there's also some really, really bad rap music out there as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a case in point that what you staring at? I ain't no mirror guy.
Yeah, well, you don't. I think I know what I would be telling them if this was at a bar or something.
What?
Maybe we're staring at the cracked mirror. um, I no. It is amazing though. Sometimes you go to, I miss that going to bars, and hearing the local bands play, because sometimes you would actually get really good ones, or sometimes it's like, okay, they're playing music. And you know, um, one of the things. So I've even you could join maybe try joining some tribute bands. I'm sure there's some good tribute
Oh
bands
yeah.
in Montana.
Oh yeah.
Because one of my favorites is at least here locally we have like Monsters of Rock. Where they play Ozzy and Van Halen and you know and the I will say this though, some of those, especially, I can't imagine some of those tribute artists though, because some of them, it's like you're either with a tribute artist, you're either good or, and especially the one that I saw that actually was doing Ozzy. I mean, that is hard to do. I mean, let alone do an impression of Ozzy, but to sing like Ozzy is the other thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, and then it's like, what style of guitar player are you doing? Like, are you doing Randy Rhoads or Jakey Lee or Zach Wilde? Because Randy Rhoads completely different from Jakey Lee and Zach Wilde, and some of them I've noticed take more of the Zach approach, because I can't imagine many guitar players doing the Randy Rhoads, because oh my gosh, I mean, what a great guitar player, easily one of my favorites. So
So, with that said, in Megan's own opinion, who would she say it is the greatest guitar player?
Um, I've got a huge soft spot for Jimi Hendrix, so
awesome.
I gotta gotta give it to Jimmy.
Oh yeah.
Jimi Hendrix definitely, was a great guitar player. And if you actually like Jimi Hendrix, check out Leon Hendrix. His brother had put out some music.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
I
Yeah,
also
well,
was not aware, so
it is interesting to listen to it, because it's like, I'll say this. I think honestly, Leon is a better vocalist than his brother, because I like Jimmy, but vocally, it worked for what he was doing. But
Mm-hmm.
um, Leon definitely is a great guitar player too, and he in his own right. And but there's some of my favorites. So I mean, Eddie will always be number one. I mean, it's hard because we haven't really had a guitar player since Eddie Van Halen that has really like took so probably Randy Rhoads, and then for me, and then probably Jimmy Page, Tony Iommi, and then um, probably Vito Bratta of White Lion. Vito Bratta is an underrated guitar player that really needs to, because, but yeah, no, I mean, you know, really just feel that there's a lot of great, I mean, music is one of those things, so it's just how it shapes your mood at some point, and all that other stuff, right, Eric?
oh yeah, like now I'm by no means a neurologist, but yeah, but something about music like really activates all of the dopamine in your brain. But yeah, I could definitely see why that would be the case.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you. What's a song for Meaghen that I guess really makes you it doesn't matter what mood you're in. You can always just say, yeah, make you feel better.
That's a good question. I really like the song Tonight Tonight by the Smashing Pumpkins. That to me just is such a good song, and it just every time I listen to it, it just puts me in a good mood.
Yeah. For me, and I'm not even the biggest fan of the musical Wicked, just because I don't really, just not my cup of tea. But I like the song "For Good," where here I am about to sing probably, and it's like tone deaf and off key, but there are people that come into our lives for a reason, and we help them in return. Oh, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know who I am today because I knew you. The reason why is because it's a song that played at my aunt's funeral, and it this was the aunt that this was that aunt that you always enjoy seeing.
Yeah.
And her funeral was, funerals are never like, nobody has ever said, oh, I had so much fun at that funeral. So funerals are never fun to go to, but that was like one of those funerals that it's like, you really did not want to go to this funeral because she was the light of the family and everything. Like at this funeral, like you had these like tough New Jersey, Italian guys, just didn't even participate in the funeral. They just went to the coffee room and just, you know, and seeing that song, you saw a lot of people just like, they weren't walking out at the service. They were just going right to the coffee room, because they didn't want to know, but so that song always has meant something to me because that song just kind of defines my aunt. There are people that in our lives that leave a handprint on our hearts, so.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so
I am sorry.
Well, Eric, let's get off this somber note. Let's stop crying.
Well, I mean, I was going to ask Meaghen, some of the people who've, like some of the people who she has looked up to, but if we want to change it to a more lighthearted tone, I mean, that's fine.
Well, I mean, hey, it's okay. Just let's stop being a bunch of sissies and let's not cry here.
So Meaghen says she's a big fan of rap. Who are some of your favorite rap artists, either from the 90s or 80s or the more modern day ones?
I would have to say like Aesop Rock is big on my list. Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Tupac, of course. Yeah, just those kind of people. As I said before, Kendrick Lamar.
Mm-hmm. So, well, hey, Eric, she mentioned Tupac, and so did I. Maybe we could talk about the conspiracy stuff. Who killed Tupac, right?
Yeah, or there is a conspiracy if he truly died. I mean, people have tried to use evidence. This rapper sounds like Tupac. I'm like, if that's your opinion, then fine. But I mean, someone can sound like somebody, but it doesn't mean that they are. So,
well, yeah. Well, I don't. Tupac doesn't strike me as the guy that, even if he did fake his death, allegedly, I don't think he doesn't strike me as that guy that would necessarily do that because he was a showman, so why would he really, I don't know but I don't know. I mean, that's just the big rabbit hole that whole thing. It's like who killed Tupac. So
Yeah, exactly. And in my
and,
own
and Biggie.
Yeah, I mean, in my own opinion, I don't really know what Tupac would get out of faking his death, but what do I know, right?
I mean, well, if you listen to the real conspiracy theories, it's like because Tupac he listened to he was going to expose the Illuminati and all this other stuff, like right. And Wayne Campbell of Wayne's World once said something very interesting. Yeah, and monkeys are going to come out of my butt.
But yeah, and then in that case, you sure would not be monkeying around.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna refrain from making the joke I'm thinking of.
Well, now you said that, I am now curious. All right, your lips are sealed. So with that said, have you ever been to any rap concerts?
Yeah, I went to Yellow Wolf when I was younger. Tech Nine. He comes here every year, so
Oh, definitely.
can't
I
be
mean,
from Montana and not go to a Tech Nine concert.
exactly. Like those guys at least come more than once a year, and so therefore, if you miss them one time, I mean, you definitely will have a second chance.
And I saw Wiz Khalifa in New Jersey once, and that was fun.
Nice.
Well, Tech Nine is actually from Kansas City, so.
Oh, well, that's a coincidence.
And that's where he makes his albums. So, I think it's Tech Nine that does it.
Yeah, Tech Nine is from Kansas City.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know about any other music questions, but
yeah,
kind of spur of the moment.
Yeah, which is fine. But yeah, I guess some of the rap concerts I've been to, I've been to a lot more rock concerts, but yeah, Afro Man, I have seen him a few times, and yeah, I mean, Ty here already knows. Out of all rappers, I definitely would say that he's my favorite because I just find his songs absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
No, you don't like Afro Man.
Yeah, it's totally not that I sing his songs at karaoke.
Well, I thought, just to kind of have a little fun here, Eric, how would you maybe how would you like to play the chat pack with our guests?
Yeah, sure. I don't see why not. I mean, as long as she's okay with it.
Yeah, no, it's if you want to try it, it's actually a great game.
Sure.
Okay, if you could get one thing back, either you lost or was destroyed, what would it be?
My original iPod that I had. Would want that back. Has a lot of good old relics on it.
I guess I could get this back, but it wouldn't be because you can get them pretty cheap now. But I would at least want to get my N64 back. And it's not like lost or it's just destroyed because, well, my little brother, it never worked right after. After my little brother decided to relieve himself on it.
Oh.
Little kids running around without their diaper, and then he sits there. He literally does this pose, like that little guy knew what he was doing. He knew it. So, Eric, what about you?
I'm sorry, but what was the question again? Sorry.
You could get something back that was either lost or destroyed. What would it be?
I remember back when I was a kid, I had a Game Boy Advance SP, and one day I was playing it at school, but then my friend Brandon decided to and then smash it onto my thumbs, and I was, and I was pretty mad about that because Game Boys were not cheap at that time, and then that then meant that I couldn't play my Game Boy anymore. So I don't know why Brandon did that. I mean, it definitely was a pretty stupid thing for him to do, but I mean, hey, I mean, when you're young, you do dumb things. I mean, it's just a part of being a
Yeah.
kid, you learn and you
Well,
grow. So I would say my Game Boy Advance SP, but I mean,
well,
to be fair, nowadays I don't have as much time I like to play video games anymore. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong if you want to grab out your Xbox or PlayStation or whichever, but it's just I guess it's just really just about time management.
okay. Well, hey, Brandon, if you're watching this, you owe Eric a new Game Boy. If not, all right. If you could float in a hot air balloon over any city or place in the world, what would you choose to float over?
Probably the Greek islands.
Okay,
Hmm.
and you would pick their why?
Just because I think they're really beautiful and I've always wanted to go.
All right.
Um,
Yeah,
oh,
and I can imagine seeing it in person definitely would be a lot better than than to just see a picture of it.
Right.
um, it would be kind of really cool. New York at night,
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
floating floating over the city. That would be really cool. You know.
That would be.
Yeah, like especially with all of those lights.
Hmm. Now, I don't know how I'm really traveling in a hot air balloon at night, but hey, it's fantasy. So, Eric, what about you?
New York would be one of them. Los Angeles would be one of them. London would be one of them. I also think trying to think of a beautiful place that has a lot of open land. Uh, where was that
So,
one spot in? Where was that one spot like where they filmed a lot of the Lord of the Rings films at?
New Zealand.
Yeah. There, yeah,
Hey, Eric, you mentioned London.
yeah.
So is London calling? I love,
You know
love I love the Clash.
it. But yeah, Ty. So I guess question for you: where would you want to do it?
Float over the city,
Yeah,
New York at night
yeah.
with all the light. New Zealand would be cool. You know, even you know, even just like maybe floating over your home, just even floating over some, not even some of the major cities, just even getting in the hot air balloon in general would be fun because I've never done that before. Um, now I don't know. There's a part of me that doesn't really want to do that because I always have that slight fear of falling. You know.
Hmm.
Which I mean, to be fair, having a fear like that definitely is common for a lot of people.
Yes. Well, it's fear. It's not even. I'm fine with like height. I want to stress I'm fine with heights, but it's the falling part that I don't like, obviously, because if you're falling out of a hot air balloon, there's no rescuing you, pretty much.
Yeah, unless if you were wearing a parachute in advance, but most people don't if they're gonna go on a hot air balloon. So
I think I definitely would be at least packing a parachute if I'm on a hot air balloon.
just to be safe, yeah,
And now we're gonna get the stream flagged because, well, Eric, what do I hear?
a cat. Well, isn't that perfect?
So anyway, almost everyone can recall a missed photo opportunity because he or she did not have a camera. What is one moment out of what basically? Okay, it's asking what if you were. It's some of these word the questions weird. So basically, it's asking, what was a missed opportunity for you to get your camera?
I've had a lot of missed opportunities with my kids that I'm too busy living in the moment to get my phone out and get that as a hard copy memory. But what can you do?
Eric, what was a missed photo opportunity for you?
I've had quite a bit, but the thing about a missed opportunity, it might suck that it happened and you can't change the past, but what you can do is that you can learn from it.
Yeah, well, the missed opportunity, photo. Like if you could take a photo of something that happened to you, like for me,
Well, I guess now that I think about it, when I was last in Las Vegas in 2017, I actually got to meet Chris Angel, and I met him in a very brief way. Uh, I wish I had my phone on me, but my phone died, and I really really wish that I would have got my picture taken with Chris Angel, but hey, I guess that's one.
for me, let's see. I went to I went to New York at the time when they were doing press for Revenge of the Sith, and Revenge of the Sith kind of because the DVD literally just came out, and I actually had my DVD, and Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen were there,
Wow,
lightsaber fighting with the kids.
that's awesome. I mean, just how awesome it would be for all those kids knowing that they're playing lightsabers with Hayden Christensen and with Ewan McGregor.
And I was actually one of them too.
You were?
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
And I
That's super
actually
cool.
and I actually got to and and Hayden said I cheated because
And
I
how did she?
because they made force powers a thing. Basically, I force choked him, and then he said, and Hayden. I don't even know if he'd ever remember this because if we ever interviewed him, he said this kid's more Darth Vader than I am. Because think about it, that would be such a Darth Vader move to do, force choke and then.
I could definitely see that. And now that you mentioned that, I actually just now remembered this. When I was in seventh grade, it was right around when the second Jackass movie came out. My older brother invited me to go to a rodeo, but I said no because I'm like, a rodeo, that's not my thing. So I said no. But then later on, this is one of the biggest mistakes I ever made. I found out that the entire crew from Jackass were all there. I'm like, are you kidding me? I could have met the entire crew of Jackass, but at least I got to have my second chance because one of the people from Jackass actually came to Billings like for a comedy show. Well, it may not have been the entire Jackass crew, but at least I got my second chance.
There you go. Um, if you could wake up every morning and open your blinds and look at the huge glass window, and what would be the perfect view to you?
That's a little hard for me to choose because I love mountains, but I also love the beach. So either one of those would work for me. I'd be perfectly happy.
think, for me, at least a good, for me, it would be more so just going outside, opening the blinds, and then, you just see nature, like the woods or something like that, and then have it where, it's, you see a deer, or birds outside, something just
Right.
like that. Keep it nice and simple. Eric, what about you?
Ironic because I've lived in Montana my whole life. Honestly, I kind of feel like I'm more of a city person at heart. So, if I could wake up and, and just see the city outside of my window, I feel like that could be good for me. Even the beach too, because there's just something really cathartic about it, just that
Hmm.
calming, soothing sound that it has to it.
So, um, so no wonder he's moving to Atlanta, so he can review certainly not news building. um, so, if you could create a memorial to yourself, boy, this is not totally not an egotistical question. In a city park, what memorial would you be? Okay, you know what? Since this is just, obviously a memorial to myself, I want a big, 24 karat gold statue of myself. Just, and, there you go. It's you know, and basically make it just a park, for kids. But I want at the centerpiece a big gold memorial statue. 24 karat gold too.
That's a good one.
Oh, it is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Eric, what about you? You're building now, since you're so egotistical, like some people say. I mean, because you can't get more egotistical than building a big 24 karat gold statue to yourself. So, Eric, you can't top that one. So, what would you do?
Okay, so say if there was a memorial for me, what would I do
Memorial at a city park. What would you do?
for myself?
Yes.
Honestly, I would, try to collect every memory that I would have with all the people who have been a positive influence in my life, like pictures or say if we went to a concert or whatever, I would have like some of the memories from the concert, like say if we got a guitar pick or if we got a shirt or maybe even the ticket itself.
Mhm.
I think that I would want to do something like that.
And what about Meaghen?
I would do something bedazzled, just something sparkly.
There you go. So look, Eric's is just so nice and simple, and here's mine and Megan's just like, yeah, look at us. Um, what is something that you always used to love to do, and during the last 2 years, you feel like you've kind of outgrown it or lost interest in doing it?
I used to play the violin in school, and I kind of wish that I would have continued on to do that.
So, yeah.
And did you stop doing that because just life got in the way with your
Yeah,
husband and kids?
mostly.
Yeah. Well, I saw one person who out there on YouTube that was managed to play violin, but she could play Eddie Van Halen on the violin.
Not
That'd be
bad.
pretty cool.
I'm like, wow, that is quite impressive. Be I mean, she actually because she actually played Eruption on the violin, which I'm like, dang.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and I'm like, that is like, that is something there too. Like that has to be the heaviest thing ever to sit there and do that because like, nobody ever thought the violin was a cool instrument. I mean, unless you're Charlie Daniels, but
Mhm.
but it's like, and then to sit there and say, like, and she actually did the tapping too. I'm like, I'm gonna have to send you the video so Meaghen can see it, but it was impressive, so to see that. But I guess Eric, you got anything you really want to add?
Okay, so yeah, and so you're saying about conquering your fears, which and I definitely have to give major props to Meaghen for. I mean, a sense that a lot of people like are just too scared to do that, and then years will go by, and then they'll say, "Man, I really wish I would have done this or that." And so basically, if Meaghen could give, just some just some life advice, what would you say is some of the best life advice that you could give to the audience?
Some of my best life advice would be to not take yourself or anything else too seriously, because you've only got one life and it's supposed to be fun. And if you take everything too seriously, then what's the fun in that?
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, um, Burt Reynolds, said once that he, he wrote his memoir before he passed away, and he said that he wishes, he says honestly, in my life, I have regrets. Everybody will, but I do regret that I didn't take my career more seriously. But at least I had fun making the movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said sometimes I wish I would have taken the advice like, okay, do one for the, you know, one for the awards, and then just do one for you. He says he wished he would have taken that more, but he just wore, at the end of the day, Burt Reynolds just said, I wanted to make movies with my buddies, and get paid to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, of course, everybody wants to get paid, but it's even better when you're getting paid to do something that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
mhm. All right. Well, so I guess is there anything Meaghen wants to plug?
Not really. I don't really. I should definitely more get better at marketing myself more.
Well, why? Why don't maybe you could just look at some of the YouTubers out there that have actually made it. I mean, Sophie Lloyd is a guitar player. I mean, she started on YouTube playing guitar, and now she's a guitar player for Machine Gun Kelly now. So
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I think I heard a similar story where the new singer of Journey actually was found on YouTube, and then they reached out to him because he sounds exactly like the original singer, just by a huge coincidence. And originally, their new singer thought it was a scam, but then I believe their manager said, "No, no, no, you want to respond to that? That's not a scam."
yeah, well, you want to know something too?
What?
It's a similar story happened to the lead singer of Boston. The original singer took his own life,
Oh, that's
and
depressing.
but it gets better. There was a guy. His name is Tommy DiCarlo. He was a single. I think he was a single dad. Working paycheck to paycheck at Home Depot, and he was like not even manager at Home Depot. He was really getting a paid above minimum wage just to work at Home Depot. Uploaded a tribute on MySpace, which what's MySpace now? Um, he and then he uploads the song. The guitar player Tom Schultz happens to see it and says, "Oh, that just sounds like some guy. That just sounds like Brad." And then when he realized that it wasn't Brad, he's like, wait a minute. And now he's the lead singer of Boston, which
Wow.
Boston, I believe is one of the only rock bands that has gone diamond.
Wow.
That's inspiring.
Yeah, so it can happen. And like, there's like, who knows? I mean, I don't know. Maybe if Adele's looking for a backup singer, we could get her involved, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Go for it.
I mean, so I would just say start posting some of your favorite songs on YouTube. I mean, even if it's just on your crappy phone,
Right.
and get better and all that other stuff. Because I mean, people right now are just job resumes are basically YouTube right now, where they're looking for artists right now. Like, even the singer of Survivor, after the lead singer of Survivor died, they found him on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people can say what they want about Justin Bieber, but I believe that that's how that he got discovered. I believe he was found by Usher on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, YouTube is like, you can get discovered on YouTube.
You definitely
It's
can.
I mean, especially, and you know what I would even say, definitely cover the popular songs too,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but cover some random stuff that maybe nobody covers. Because like, there's one girl named Kim Tamra who I really like listening to her because she does the most beautiful cover of my favorite Motorhead song of all time, which is "Love Me Forever."
Nice.
And she does this like, I swear, when she covers "Love Me Forever," she makes it sound like like one of the classic Bond songs, So,
Mm-hmm.
because there's something about a female led voice for a Bond song, it just fits,
Right.
But Eric,
But yeah, anyways, I definitely want to thank Meaghen for taking time out of her day to be here. But yeah, we all certainly will keep in touch.
all right, thank
Thanks
you,
for
and
having me.
be sure to follow her on our Instagram, Eric on his Instagram, and we also have merch. Just go to Pop Pop Tees. We're working on Sit Down by the Fire merch. It's in the process. But if you want to get my logo or Eric's movie posters, just be sure to go to Pop Pop Tees. It's right down there.
Yep. All righty. You all have a fantastic day.
All right,
Thanks.
see
You
ya.
too.
Of course.